everyone. Hope all of you are fine in this pandemic. Now, this lecture or this lecture series which I am going to start is very interesting, and I think it will be a bit helpful for especially for the engineering aspirants, because in engineering mathematics is a very difficult subject and as well as it is very essential subject. So many students are going to engineering because they love mathematics. Again, many students are going to engineering because they don't love mathematics. So whatever may be the case, we have to do mathematics for few semesters. Say in some university it may be for 4 semester, in some university it may be for 3 semester, but in maximum case we have to do at least for 1 year you have to do mathematics. And when you are doing mathematics, one thing is very important in mathematics throughout the, I can say throughout any university, especially Indian university, that is called derivative or the calculus part, differential calculus. So I'll be starting a lecture series on differential calculus. This is the first class. So those who are engineering students, if you are unable to join to some college also, you can just simply browse the YouTube and you can just listen to this. I think it will be a bit helpful when you will be actually doing this course. And derivative we know from class 11-12. So what is derivative? So if I give the same definition, that is some curve is given like this. So there are two consecutive points. So this point is, say the curve is y equals to fx. So if this distance is x, so this will be fx, the distance. So the point will be x comma fx. Similarly, if this is delta x, so this point is x plus delta x, so this will be f of x plus delta x. So this point will be x plus delta x, f of x plus delta x. So what we are doing basically, we have taken very consecutive 2 points. One is the x, another is x plus delta x. So at the point x, the y value will be fx because y equals to fx. Similarly, at the point x plus delta x, the y value will be f of x plus delta x. So this is the point. So if this point is P, if this point is Q. Now, if you just think like this, that when the input was x, so if I just write this as input, then the output was fx. So if I write this, probably this will be helpful for engineering student, they can understand the language. So input and output. Now when you change the input to x plus delta x, you have got the output f of x plus delta x. Okay. Now what is the change you have done? So change in input is delta x and change in output is f of x plus delta x minus f of x. So what we are doing, we have taken two consecutive points or two very nearby points. So we have given something and we have seen what is the output. We have given some more value and we have seen what is the output. Then we see that how much input difference is there and how much output difference is there. Then what we have done a very interesting thing. We try to track the change, rate of change. So what we have done, f of so change of output divided by change of input, and provided change of input tends to 0. Now I have written many things. So what are these? So when delta x tends to 0, you think according to the curve. So when delta x tends to 0, that means this portion is getting smaller. So that means this point is moving towards this point. So this Q point is moving towards P point. So basically 2 points will match at some level. So this is called derivative. So that is, now there is no separate point of q. Now q is also converged to p. So this is called derivative. This has been written f dash x. This is called derivative of fx at p. Understand? So what is the meaning of derivative? So what is the meaning of derivative actually? So derivative basically means it is the rate of change of output with respect to input, provided the input goes to 0, then whatever you are getting the value, the limiting value, that value is called derivative. Now commonly we know many formulas are there, say derivative of e to the power x is e to the power x itself, derivative of sin x is cos x, derivative of cos x is minus sin x, derivative of x to the power n is n times x to the power n minus 1 and all. So we know this formula. So what is my suggestion for engineering students or for any graduate student? You maintain one register book, and in that book you first write all this formula, you write this diagram, you write all this formula. I think that will be very much helpful. Okay. So now we are going to further something more. What is the more thing? So which is called successive derivative. What is the meaning of successiveness? Successiveness means if you are doing the same process again and again. So suppose that is y equals to fx. If I do the first derivative, I can write dy dx. This can be written sometimes y1. So this notation is also very important. Y suffix 1, which means the first derivative, that is f dash x. Now again, if you are doing the derivative of this one, that is d2y dx2, this will be y2, this will be say f double prime x. The same process you can continue, say up to any times, say n times. So dny dxn, that can be written yn, and that will be say f of nx. So basically we are finding the derivative up to any order in general term. This is called successive derivative. That is, you try to find the general derivative formula for a particular function. Okay, so it may look a bit complicated. Let me make it easy. Let me start a problem. You see, the problem approach is very, very important. Say, if y equals to ax plus b power m, find yn. So this is the question has been come in exam. So now one function is given, you have to find the nth derivative. Okay, so you have to find the general form of derivative. So now how to do this one? You see, if you try to understand one problem, I think it will be okay. So y equals to ax plus b power m. First of all, see, you have to find yn. So first of all, you have to find y1, y2, y3, and then finally you find yn. Let us calculate y1. y1 means the first derivative. So what will be the derivative of this one? This will be m, then ax plus b power m minus 1, and derivative of this one, which is a. Okay, fine. If I go for the second derivative, y2, so m, a, and now m minus 1, then ax plus b power m minus 2, and another a will come, so it will make a square. So what is my suggestion is that don't multiply anything. In whatever form you are doing the derivative, in whatever form you are receiving it, you keep it in that form. Why? Let us go for the next step and we can understand probably. y3 will be m, m minus 1, m minus 2, then a cube, then ax plus b power m minus 3. So now you see, can you find a pattern? Yes. there are three kind of term. One is m, another is a, another is ax plus b. Now if I try to write yn by analyzing this one, you see if it is 1, m, only m is there. If it is 2, m and m minus 1. If it is 3, m minus 1, m minus 2, that is 1 less than this one. So if it is n, it should be m minus 1, m minus 2, m minus n minus 1. Okay. Now if it is 1, a power is 1. If it is 2, a power is 2. If it is 3, a power is 3. So if it is n, a power should be n. Now if it is 1, ax plus b will be present. So here also ax plus b will be present. But we have a doubt in the power of ax plus b. So if it is 1, it is m minus 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So n, so it should be, that's all. So this is not at all complicated. What you have to do, in whichever way you are doing the derivative, you keep that form. You don't multiply anything. You keep that form, and after doing 2 to 3 steps, you try to visualize a pattern, that in which pattern it is coming. Then only you can write the nth term. Okay. Let us do another one. Let us do another one. This one is very easy. E power ax, find yn. So if I go for the solution, y equals to e power ax. So what will be y1? It will be e power ax, a. What will be y2? It will be a square e power x. What will be y3? It will be a cube e power x. So what will be yn? It will be very simple, a power n e power x. So what we have done, if I do the first derivative, e power x derivative is e power x, then a will come. y2 e power x, another a will come, so it will become a square. y3 it will become a cube. So you see there are two terms, one is a, another is e power x. So e power x will be as it is, and a power should be, if it is 1, a power is 1. If it is 2, a power is 2. If it is 3, a power is 3. If it is n, a power should be n. That's all. Let us do the last problem for this class. If y equals to 1 by x minus a, find yn. Now y equals to 1 by x minus a. So what is my suggestion is that this one you can write x minus a power minus 1. So always you try to write in an equation form, not in some division form. So it will be helpful for your calculation. So if you go for y1, so y1 means first derivative. So it is x to the power n form. So that is minus 1 x minus a minus 2. If you go for the second derivative, y2, it will be minus 1 minus 2 into x minus a minus 3. Now you see, if I multiply this, then the minus will vanish, but as well as the pattern will also vanish. So you don't find a pattern after that. So what is my suggestion? Again I am repeating, in whatever way it is coming in the calculation, you keep the same term so that you can understand the pattern. So if I go for y3, minus 1 minus 2 minus 3 x minus a power minus 4. Now I think you can understand some pattern. Say if it is 1, only 1. If it is 2, it is 1 and 2. If it is 3, 1, 2, 3. Of course, all minus sign. So if it is n, it will be minus 1, minus 2, minus n. Understand? Now, if you just multiply here, then the minus will be, there will be a confusion that n is even or odd. So don't multiply anything, keep it in this form. Now if it is 1, the power is minus 2. If it is 2, the power is 3, minus 3. If it is 3, the power is minus 4. So 1 more than this suffix. So if it is n, it should be x minus a power minus n plus 1. Understand? So this is done. If you write this much, you get the full credit for the problem. Now you can also simplify this further. How to simplify? How many terms are there? N terms are there in this number. So there are n number of minus are there. So all the minus I can take together and I can write as minus 1 power n. So what I am doing, I am just taking the minus sign from each one of the term. So whatever is remaining now, 1, 2, n, and this is x minus a minus of n plus 1. Now minus 1 power n. Now what is this? This is very familiar, 1 into 2 into up to n. So this is nothing but n factorial, and this is x minus a power minus of n plus 1. So I think for the preliminary or for the first class of engineering mathematics 1 or in the first semester, this much is sufficient. So students, what we have discussed today, we try to discuss what is the derivative fundamental thing that we know from the 12th standard, but here we try to give in engineering definition like input and output. Then we have given you that, okay, some of the basic formula, like you know whatever from your 12th. Then we try to give what is successive derivative and how to find some function for successive derivative. So this one we have given 3 examples. So in the next video or in the next class, we try to discuss some more problems on this, okay, so that it will be familiar to you. Thank you very much. So don't be demotivated. Whatever calculation you unable to understand, you feel free to write to me, and I want that you do the calculation on your own, so that you can understand. There is no hard and fast calculation is there, very simple calculation, only don't jump any step, do stepwise. Okay, thank you.